Hey everyone, and welcome to Everything Wrestling. On this episode, we will be covering our next season of WCW Nitro. Now, with this season, this one brings out the NWO, Mongo, and so much more. So sit back, relax, and let's go down nostalgia road. First up, it's February 19th, 1996, and we're calling this Booty Time. Now, if you remember, this was when Hogan brought Brutus on the scene, but he was now called the Booty Man. I honestly thought it was a dumb gimmick, but that's my personal opinion. But in our recreation, you can see that we got that moment when Macho Man is in Eric Bischoff's face. You got McMichael sitting on the side, our custom McMichael sitting on the side with his dog, his little dog. I forgot what that little dog, Cocker Spaniel, was named. Um, you got Hogan cutting his promo, talking about the Booty Man, who's gonna be watching his back. And you got Mean Gene looking at the Booty Man uh, with my sentiments exactly. It's now February 26, 1996, and we would actually see the first ever meeting between the Road Warriors and Harlem Heat. Now that on that Nitro, it was actually a pretty good matchup. Pretty much the Road Warriors ended up winning that match. But later on, and when I say later on, I'm talking about years later, we will find out that the Harlem Heat actually wanted to do a feud with the Road Warriors, but WCW shut that whole theory down. So that would have actually been a good feud had they let it play out. Now it's April 15th, 1996, and this was when Mongo, which aka Steve McMichael, uh, well, actually, look, let me switch that around. Steve McMichael, aka Mongo, would join the Horsemen. So they were looking for a fourth member by this time, and uh, pretty much Mongo was now in the role of the enforcer. So this was pretty much when Mongo joined, and as you can see, this is our custom Mongo McMichael. So we gave him we pretty much took a Undertaker head, the old I forgot which version of Undertaker it was, but old Undertaker head, gave him some sunglasses. Forgot who body we used for this one, but obviously we gave him a custom Bears jacket. And voila, Mongo. And the head had the ponytail in the back. So this was actually a pretty good head to use, but I can't remember which head it was. Now it's May 27, 1996. And this was pretty much where everyone, if you don't remember nothing else about WCW Nitro, you remember this moment. And this was when Scott Hall appeared on the episode of Nitro. And people thought that pretty much there was a crossover because Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, was still known to be in WWF. So obviously, he jumped in the ring and delivered that famous line, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." So June 3rd, 1996, Scott Hall appeared back on Nitro. And that's pretty much when he got in Eric Bischoff's face and told him, if WCW wants a war, then you got it. And that's when he told him the big man was coming next week. So as you can see, we're using that Monday Night Nitro, Scott Hall. We have our custom set, WCW set up, and we have our Eric Bischoff I think we used the that was the Ruthless Aggression, Eric Bischoff, and along with Heenan. So that was pretty much the setup for that one. So now it's June 17th, 1996, and this was the episode where the big man showed up. So this was when Kevin Nash showed up on Nitro. So now we not only had Razor, but we also had Diesel who was crossing over. So during this time frame, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if WWF was working together with WCW, or were these, that's where the term outsiders came from, that whole thing. But this was peak TV right here. But in the scene, as you can see, we got our custom set. We used the Ruthless Aggression Bischoff. And then with the Scott Hall, what we did was the Monday Nitro Scott Hall was a lot shorter than the Kevin Nash. And pretty much in the actual scene, Scott Hall is, he's shorter, but he's not that much shorter than Nash. And the Monday Nitro Scott Hall was shorter than the Bischoff figure. So we wanted to keep everything pretty much close to the actual event. So what I did was I took I forgot which, it's the Legends Elite Scott Hall. I'm sorry. Yeah, Legends Elite Scott Hall, and then I pretty much swapped the parts and gave him the vest, and pretty much that's how I got the height so close. So yeah. So now it is June 24th, 1996, and on that episode, we will see the WCW Tag Team Title match. So it's actually a triple threat tag team title match where we had Harlem Heat against the Steiner Brothers against the champions Sting and Luger. So in the midst of this, that matchup, we also now had the storyline of who was that third man. Who was that third man going to be? And if you know the backstory of this, you pretty much know that originally the plan was for Sting to be that third man, but you guys know the rest of it. Hogan would eventually be that third man. But in the scene, we got our Harlem Heat, Custom Steiner. Shout out to Mattel. We are finally getting Steiner Brothers soon. So I can't wait for that. And we also got Sting and Luger. And shout out to Jazzware. We are finally getting a Surfer Sting. So it's a great time to be a collector, y'all. We finally getting these figures that we want. And finally, for season 2, you had July 29, 1996. And this was the sneak attack. So pretty much our photo starts at the point where, if you remember, this was when Hall and Nash, aka the Outsiders, had come onto the set, and this is where Kevin Nash talks about now, where Rey Mysterio told him to actually throw him through the window, and Nash was like, I don't want to kill you, so he actually threw him into the trailer. So this is the point afterwards, because if you remember, the camera, as he did that, the camera kind of panned around and all of WCW was laid out, and you see Hall and Nash with the bats in their hand. So if you remember, Hall and Nash ran to the limo, and and then right after that, Macho runs behind them, jumps on the limo, and tries to reach through the sunroof, and you see the camera cut as the limo is driving off the set. Well, we're picking it up at the point where Macho jumps on top of the limo. So in our scene, you can see the limo taking off, and we have our Macho Man who is reaching through the top of the sunroof. So yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed season 2 or episode 2 of our Nitro collaboration. And, pretty much stay tuned. We got a lot more coming down the pipe. As you know, there was a lot that went on during Nitro. So we're going to try to cover as much as we can. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can stay, hit that notification button so that you can stay informed and when we upload those new episodes. Also, make sure you check out our other episodes. We got Halloween Havoc, we got Survivor Series, and we got many more of the old school pay-per-views coming down the turnpike. But until then, we hope you've enjoyed taking this trip, nostalgia trip down with us, and we look forward to bringing you a lot more in the future. But you guys stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next go around.